The stars stretched across the viewplate like a river of cold light, and Rian stood quietly on the command deck of the exploration vessel, Horizon Path, as it drifted toward the border of an uncharted system. He had traveled far during his service, but this region felt different. Every sensor reading hinted at a presence hidden behind the dust clouds, as if something ancient lingered just out of reach. The mission had begun as a routine survey for habitable worlds, yet tension settled over the crew from the moment they crossed into the system. Rian sensed it the way someone senses a storm rolling in long before thunder. Lena, the ship's chief linguist, approached with her usual steady calm. She carried a tablet filled with incoming signals. None of them resembled the known languages catalogued over the last century. Her eyes were sharp, curious, and too focused to let fear take root. She stopped beside Rian and handed him the tablet. "These signals keep repeating," she said. "It's not random noise." Rian studied the sequence. The tones were layered, steady, complex, and arranged with such precision that they had to originate from intelligent life. Humanity had encountered several alien species during its expansion, but all of them had been cautious, private, and territorial. None had reached out first with a structured pattern like this. The idea that someone unknown might be beckoning them forward struck Rian as both thrilling and unsettling. Tom, the ship's engineer, joined them. He scanned the data and frowned. "Whoever they are, they know we're here." The patterns intensified. The ship's sensors detected an energy wave curling through space like the wake of a rising tide. Horizon Path shook as the wave struck, but the hull held firm. The lights brightened, then steadied. Lena stabilized the incoming data to decode the shifting structure. A transparency slowly formed on her screen, showing the distortion of space nearby. A shimmering tier opened before the ship, revealing a path of bright violet light. Rian looked at the gateway. "They want us to follow." Tom crossed his arms. "Or they want to lead us somewhere we can't escape." Lena met Rian's eyes. "There's meaning in their message. It doesn't feel hostile. It feels intentional." The decision fell to Rian. He weighed the risks, the duty, the unknown. Then he ordered the ship forward. The vessel glided into the luminous corridor. The light wrapped around them, and for several long seconds the crew felt weightless. When the glow faded, Horizon Path emerged into an expanse dominated by a single massive structure. It floated in open space, like a throne carved from living crystal. Its towers spiraled toward the void. Waves of energy pulsed from its core with the steadiness of a heartbeat. "That's a station," Tom whispered. Rian nodded. "Prepare first contact protocols." A signal emitted from the structure and enveloped the ship. The interior lights dimmed, then stabilized as the energy locked onto them gently, as if guiding rather than forcing. A docking corridor extended from the station toward the ship's airlock. Rian led the team inside, dressed in lightweight exploration suits. No armor, no weapons. They needed to show trust, or at least neutrality. When the airlock opened, warm air flowed in. The corridor glowed with soft blue light. Intricate lines stretched along the walls, like veins carrying energy. The team advanced slowly. For a moment, Rian wondered if they had stepped inside a living being rather than a machine. They entered a grand chamber filled with tall, crystalline pillars that emitted a low hum. At the far end stood a figure unlike any species humanity had met. Tall, graceful, and radiant, she had skin that shimmered like pearlescent stone. Her eyes glowed silver. She wore layers of flowing material that moved like woven mist. Her presence was calm, yet carried an unmistakable authority. Lena breathed in awe. She must be their leader. The alien figure raised a hand. She spoke in a melodic tone, the sound rippling across the air like waves across water. The language was harmonious and layered, almost musical. The team listened, but none understood. Yet Lena sensed intention in the rhythm. She recorded every syllable, calculating patterns and cross-referencing them with the initial signal. Rian took a cautious step forward. He placed a hand on his chest, a universal gesture of greeting adopted across human colonies. The alien queen watched him with curious intensity. Her expression shifted, almost as if she recognized something familiar in the gesture. She responded with a slow movement of her own hand to her chest. Lena whispered, "She's mirroring you." The queen extended her hand toward the crystalline pillars. A projection formed, showing stars rearranging into a map. A region pulsed brightly, then dimmed. Another region flickered. Her eyes focused on Rian as she guided them through the changing constellations. She seemed to warn them about something approaching. Something powerful. Tom spoke softly. "She's trying to tell us about a threat." Lena concentrated on the queen's speech patterns. The tones were elegant and carried layers of meaning. After several attempts, Lena produced a simple phrase using the closest approximation of their structure. The moment she spoke, the queen froze in surprise. Then she approached Lena slowly and placed a hand lightly against her shoulder. Her eyes brightened with a silent acknowledgement. For hours they worked, trading symbols and sounds in a growing bridge of communication. The queen taught them that her people watched over the region, guarding the balance of space that kept many civilizations safe. She had sensed the presence of a new force spreading through distant systems, disturbing the natural harmony. That force was not yet close, but its growth was unstoppable unless others joined the effort to confront it. Rian listened carefully. Humanity doesn't want conflict, but we won't run if something threatens our home. The queen tilted her head, analyzing the tone. She stepped closer until she stood directly before Rian. She observed him with such depth that he felt as if she saw every memory he carried. She placed one hand above her heart and spoke in a slow, deliberate tone. Lena rushed to decode. "She says your kind carries a spark she has not seen before, a resilience that defies the coldness of space." Rian nodded. "We try to endure." The queen stepped back and raised a hand. A pulse of energy flowed across the chamber. The crystalline pillars glowed brighter, revealing an inner structure like branching roots. The ground beneath them vibrated softly. The energy rising appeared connected to her life force. She lifted both hands now, causing a wave of light to form in the air above them. The wave curved into a glowing representation of a distant sector. Within the projection, dark shapes expanded and consumed stars like ink, spreading through water. Tom stared at the vision. "That's spreading faster than we thought." Rian felt a weight settle against his chest. He stepped forward and asked slowly, "What do you want from us?" Lena translated the question. The queen responded with a sequence that carried a sense of invitation, unity, and shared purpose. She spoke gently, yet her tone carried the authority of a leader who had endured millennia. "She wants an alliance," Lena said. Rian exhaled. "Humanity is not the strongest race in the galaxy. Why choose us?" Lena translated again. The queen looked at Rian for a long moment. The chamber grew quiet, except for the pulse of the crystalline pillars. Then, in a voice softer than before, she spoke a phrase that carried one unmistakable meaning, even before Lena translated. "She says you suggested something without saying it." Lena interpreted. "You showed courage by stepping forward without fear." Rian's chest tightened. He had not meant to suggest anything. He had simply followed instinct. Yet she had seen meaning in that movement. The queen approached him again. She placed one hand lightly near his shoulder, not touching, just close enough for him to sense the warmth. She whispered something so soft that even Lena's translator needed several moments to decipher. When it finally produced a meaning, Lena's eyes widened. "She whispered a promise," Lena said. "She says if humanity joins her people, she will stand with us." She says she will guide us through the coming darkness. Rian bowed his head respectfully. Then we stand together. The queen responded with a small, graceful movement that signaled acceptance. Her voice resonated through the chamber, calling forth several other members of her species who emerged from hidden passages. They carried crystalline devices and placed them in a circle. Light connected each device until a bridge of energy formed between their station and the horizon path. Tom marveled. It's a shared link. They're giving us access to their knowledge. Lena smiled. They trust us. Rian felt something shift inside him. Humanity had always wondered whether it belonged among the stars, whether its place was earned or merely granted by chance. Now, standing before the queen, he realized they had been chosen not because they were powerful, but because they were willing. They were ready to rise when needed. The queen turned toward the star map one last time. She reached out, and the projection formed into a path. It glowed gently, showing the route toward the region where the threat would soon emerge. Rian understood. Humanity would not face the coming storm alone. The queen approached him again. Her voice softened. She whispered one final phrase. Lena translated with a quiet smile. She says she believes in your spark. Rian nodded. Then we won't let you down. The queen raised her hand in a gesture of farewell, blended with respect. A pulse of warm light passed through the chamber. The team felt it settle inside them like a calm certainty. Rian and his crew returned to the horizon path.